You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting ready to kind of switch up topics, I guess. We're getting ready to talk about, to me, the cultural shift in the United States of America. To me, that is what these white people are mad about. They see it. They see all these different nationalities becoming more and more relevant in our society. And they don't like it. And when I say cultural shift, like when I was growing up, I always like to say I'm 45. And when I was growing up, everything white was number one on everything.
Yeah, that's
Biggest movie star, white. Biggest entertainer, white.
That's why they flashed in front of us.
Biggest athlete, white. You know, all those things were white. Now, fast forward to present day, biggest entertainer in the world, black. Biggest movie star in the world, black.
It's because we're getting recognized more. It wasn't getting recognized then. Like we always had big entertainers and stuff, and you know.
I don't think it's recognition. I just think it's focus. I just think it's more focus. Like you can't
not becoming,
and it's not entertainment, internet, technology.
Technology one, but it's like anything else. Black people lead the culture. That's the cultural shift. Everything that happens in this society originates from the Black American, whatever the Black American was doing. Like I said, you can't name me a comedian right now, white, that has a bigger name than Kevin Hart. You can't name me a bigger white movie star that has a bigger name than Denzel Washington. You can't name me a bigger entertainer who has a bigger name than Beyonce. Can't tell me a sports star who has a bigger name than LeBron. Black people run our society now. That's all we see. And that's what people are asking for now. That's where the cultural shift is taking place at. And I know people be like, well, the monetary, but money is starting to change as well. It might not be as fast as we wanted to, but black people are coming to wealth a lot quicker than they did 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So.
Oh, you waiting on me? All right. Everything does need to be secure. Fuck those white people. Love a wild people. I'm sure she said love all white people. I'm sure that's what she did. Lord, solace that call. Child. Your phone over here going ham, son.
Yeah,
this is.
We'll get whoever it is. I'll get to you later. Stuff we're in the middle of the show now and stuff like that. But do you think that's how the culture is shifting? Do you see it like that? How do you see it, or do you think it's just black faces, but it really is not making a difference?
What it is, and this is just the way of America, man. You know, we do everything typically first. Then the white people co-sign it. And once they co-sign, then it gets accepted by all the white, you know, a portion of the white folk that catch on with the white people. Mm-hmm. Then it becomes popular. I mean, that's just how, that's United States shit. That's just how the shit goes.
We've always,
like I say, and I maintain, like, white society is the only society in our country that's not growing. It's the only society. The black population is growing. The Hispanic population is growing. Every other culture is growing, but the white part.
Yeah, they're just taking from everybody else's culture trying to make it, but it don't work.
But that's what I'm saying. Eventually, they're, as you say, when they give you go ahead, that's what's cool now. Their say isn't going to have any value anymore. And that's why these people are coming out the woods.
I mean, you're saying that, but the power structure is still set up with white people still run this country.
Really? And I'm going to say, so, okay, in 4 years, if Biden does this right, in 4 years, there will be a black woman as the head of this country.
And white people will still run this country. Nigga, when Barack Obama was in charge, white people will still run this fucking country. What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is that there is going to be a shift. They're not going to be able to hold on to power forever. That's why we were surprised when Georgia flipped, because we never thought it would happen, but the wheels are in motion. And as long as we keep thinking a certain way that things are never going to change, then we're the ones keeping ourselves in this box because we're like, white people are always good. It's going to change eventually because that's how things work. That's just like I said with Georgia. You would have never thought Georgia would be a blue state. Ever.
Dude, and if they don't go back out and vote, it won't be a blue
It'll
state.
always be blue now. It'll never go back red.
Right.
It will never go. Okay, like Schroeder and Braun did. I'll bet you $1 that Texas turns blue the next election cycle.
Ooh, that's gonna be a win for Texas.
And not only that, with Georgia still staying blue.
Texas, though.
Texas.
They've been pulling for Texas since.
Okay, like I said, Texas will.
So the Confederacy in Texas. You really think Texas?
When I tell you that the white society that we know has stopped growing like that, they have stopped growing like that.
I mean, I'm as pro-black as they come.
And you know what I mean? But if you take into account at the rate that Hispanics are,
I ain't saying that, but you out there just disappearing or something.
No, they're not. But they're diminishing. You're talking about we're ending bloodlines. Once Black, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, whatever come into your bloodline as a white, that's gone. It's gone. You no longer going to have. If your daughter goes and gets a Black boyfriend, that's done. Any of her offsprings from now on with the Black boyfriend, husband, whatever, they're always going to be Black forever. You're never going to get that out.
I understand that, but Texas?
Yes, Texas.
You know,
Texas.
what is the National Rifle Association trying to move
Texas.
to New York, then put them on a deck.
And that's cool. They can go wherever they want to.
You funny.
The demographics in this country are changing at a rapid rate. That's what white
You're talking about the demographics. Okay,
Texas
listen to what you're saying, and look what's on the table. Words have meaning. Okay,
words have meaning.
The demographic could be changing, and it very well might be. But the power structure is still white men run this country, yo. No matter who you put in charge, until that dynamic shift, it doesn't matter what the fuck you talking about. It doesn't matter who you put in the presidency. It does not matter. Vice presidency, it doesn't matter.
You don't think that dynamic is going to switch?
Okay, listen to what is it going to switch? In how long?
I mean, we've been waiting this long.
We've
been waiting this long. Do you think there's been any progress towards since we've been going about this? Has there been any progress made?
Dude, listen to what you're saying.
I know exactly what
you said, has there been progress? Nigga, we were fucking slaves.
Okay.
Anything is progress for slavery, right or wrong.
Okay.
Oh, here, take these little breadcrumbs. Here, just take these little breadcrumbs. Oh, here, you want to be the president too? Here, you could be the president. Take these crumbs too. Here's a whole slice of bread. Take this whole slice of bread.
You're saying breadcrumbs.
I'm just listening to what you're saying.
I'm from an era when they said that there would never be a Black president. Ever. I'm from an era they're saying.
You don't think I'm from that same era?
Okay, so you're saying that's
like a slight half a generation later?
You don't think that's a big step into something different?
Because they put Barack Obama in a position to be,
or a bigger step.
Because they put him in a position to be seen. Really?
Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
You're going off of perception and visuals.
But I'm going off of what I see in our society. I see that as you look at that.
That's like a commercial.
As you look at the House and Senate,
commercials are real.
Just look at how they're changing. How many white people there were in all.
Is this the Old Spice commercial? He's trying to.
Okay, like I said,
what the fuck is going on here? Yo, the pregame is real, yo.
I mean,
this nigga bugging.
It is real, but I'm just saying.
This nigga bugging.
it is going to happen. The wheels are in motion. We sit here, we talk about a black and white civil war. Like, that was in the 80s. That's no longer a relevant thing anymore because there's so many races here. What are the other races going to do?
Okay,
sit
so
out?
No, it's still a black and white civil. It's
Are they
still
going to
like
sit
that.
out, though? What are the other races going to do? They're just going to sit out and wait until it's their turn?
Basically. Because a lot of races don't realize what they are. Like, a lot of Hispanics don't want to admit they got black in them. That a lot of them don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, they got some stuff going towards them, but it's not mainly towards this main black. You know what I'm saying? We have the most problems. They want to get rid of Hispanics here, but they don't have the problems that we have. So they'll sit back and watch. Unless it's somebody that got like you said, you know what I'm saying, that has a black somebody in like somewhere, you know what I'm saying, maybe they'll step in, but they're not going to fight something that's not their battle.
So many.
He wants you to jump in up battles that aren't ours. You remember we already had that conversation.
No, but we've laid so many seeds in the white race that when the chickens come home to roost, all that is going to change. And we're not going to be ready for it because we're still talking about white people are going to be running this shit forever. It's not going to last forever. Nothing does. Every great empire has fallen. This white supremacy, this is going to fall. This is going to fall. And we might not see it all, but we're seeing a lot. We're seeing the beginning of it now.
Bits and pieces getting chipped away. Okay, but like I'm telling you, this is still a white power structure, no matter how you look at it, yo. No matter how you look, from the Constitution to today, present day, dude. Like, come on, man. See, you about to get me all deep in this shit. I you don't typically want to do that on the effing podcast. Like, that's not what we do here. You know what I mean? We typically try and have fun and be, do scientific purposes and shit like that. But that pregame got you gone.
I'm just, like I said, I look at the long game. I'm always a long game type person. Like, I'm not looking at the next 2, 4, even though those are going to be like changing years too. I look at the next 20, 30. Like, it's going to be different. This whole country is going to be completely different.
Everything's going to be different.
But we're still talking
30,
about
40 years. Then you probably won't even be here. We may not be here in 20, 30, 40 years, nigga.
Possibly not. But they'll be in the next 4 years. Like I said, it's going to be Texas will be blue. I stand by what I said. I put a buck on it. Texas.
No, I still don't see it. I still don't see Texas.
Texas will be blue.
Out of all states, Texas is the one you think is going to be blue. Texas.
And no, I could have said like Alabama or something. I could have really jumped out the window.
Alabama got a better chance than Texas.
No. See, and the only reason I'll give him that, and that's the thing, like when you're dealing with Hispanic individuals, they have a tendency, like they say, to typically lean to more conservative principles because they're more religious people. So, a lot of times they say they'll align with those religious principles, and that's conservatives. But when you have these other people, listen, you have, Julian? Ain't that who it is? With the push down there?
That's another thing. You're talking about how people are, that's the spiritual and religion. Religion is a dying thing as well. Religion isn't as the big rush that it was when we were.
What the fuck is going on with you tonight?
I guarantee you that because I work with kids, they're more spiritual than religious. They're more spiritual than religious. We're from the religious era where church and all that. They don't go to church on Sundays. They don't do all that.
Nobody really does right now. It's COVID.
Even when COVID wasn't in, they weren't going to church. That's not, they are more spiritual. Their parents don't get on them like that about church and stuff like ours did.
These Catholics and Jewish people. Oh, all right.
Look,
man, hold on. Where's my cup?
One of the kids at my job is Muslim, but he doesn't follow the faith. These parents do not enforce on their kids how our parents enforce religion on us. That's a thing of the past. I don't think people are keeping up with either. White people don't make their kids go to church like that. They don't. Okay.
Let me get through some of these comments, yo, because I know we got some comments. Good evening. What up, Al? Call me. That's who was calling. Mac. Mac called me. Much love, brother. Peace, peace, peace. When though, look, he's talking. He wants this change to happen. He thinks it's happening right now within our lifetime. No, it's not happening. Things are changing, but moving at a snail's pace. Exactly.
Not in our lifetime.
I'm reading right now. It won't be that way if we don't show up for midterm elections. Exactly. I don't know about white people not growing. I think that we are becoming a bigger melting pot and adapting more. One or a few black people doing well does not mean we are doing, and I see, drink, does not mean we're doing well. The power structure has never changed. Disagree with Georgia not going back red. NC has been a swing state for a while. Exactly. Key to future elections is going to be getting the millennials to vote. And also with today's society, millennials tend to be the ones that are more in tune to what's going on with the government. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Branson being Stretch Armstrong out here. Even with Dems in charge, the power structure is unchanged. Thank you. That's what I was saying. Texas will never go blue. Oh shit. That nigga said never. I understand eventually, but power structure is staying white for a long time. I wish I was wrong. I do. I agree with Budha. Oh shit.
I mean, that's cool.
Watch out for this lightning. Thank you, Budha. You're very welcome. Texas had to go on blue since what? Governor Ann Richards?
Here we go.
As the only white person in this motherfucker, I approve this message. That's not going to happen in our lifetime. That's what they do. Blacks currently have 90% less wealth than white families. This will likely not change in our lifetime. 90%. Older Hispanics tend to be conservative. Texas, but going blue no time soon. We got to figure out the psyche of the 75 million re-Trumplicans. That's a problem. How in the world did he get 75 million votes? Thank you. See, now you're starting to understand how this world is working. Historically, other races wait until black people make progress and then they jump on the bandwagon. Exactly. Thank you, Cahill. Not going blue. That ain't the long game. That's fantasy. They worship almost as if he is a god. Trump gotta be. Texas, bruh, that pregame got you feeling good. No. I'll take that bet on Texas, bruh. Blink what the bet? What people Julian, yeah. Look, please, if there's any Hispanic people, I know that's sometimes the J is silent. I know.
Came to you in last year and been like, Georgia going blue. You'd been like, Georgia? Are you serious?
And I'm really saying Texas, though.
Right or wrong. If somebody would have came to you and been like, Georgia's turning blue.
You know, I'd be like, that's possible. And you know what? The only reason I would say that? It's the same shit now. Stacey Abrams was supposed to win the other time, but they shitted her out of that election. See, you forgot. I used to keep up with these things, but then I had to stop because people acted like facts weren't facts. They were feelings more so than facts. So I let a lot of shit go. I just left a lot of it alone.
And that's the thing. Like if we're going to keep it a buck, let's keep it a buck. Like I say, the demographics in these cities are changing in these states. Georgia is...
Okay, Branson, even if the demographics are changing, if the laws ain't changing, it will not matter. But the laws are going to
change eventually as well. We
don't all this eventually. Time. You're right, time.
So things just happen overnight.
It always ends up with time, right?
Things happen overnight? Is that what it is? Like, yes, there's things that we have to go back and correct. When things were made in this country, black people weren't thought of. So now, and the Lord works in mysterious ways, like I always say, because eventually black people are going to be the majority in this country. Like you say, it's going to...
Bruh, if the laws don't change, it won't matter.
And like I'm saying, now, you're saying Georgia will turn... I'm saying it's not going to turn back, because it's a big LGBTQ community down there.
And?
They vote. They vote hard and stuff like that. Like, that was a part of it as well. Stacey Abrams, like you said, played a part into it, but it's not as many white people as it was before down there. It's not. Times have changed. There are white people, those racist white people, sitting with their black grandbaby in their leg.
Or their child.
Or their child. It's a thing. It's going to be a thing.
Does that make them not racist anymore? Because they got a black child? Or a mixed child?
Because that don't make a difference. There's different kinds of people being racist. It's different kinds of racist.
Okay. Like I say, I got my 100 on Texas changing in the next 4 years.
Okay, well, I'm going to put 100 on.
Hold on. Order your own pregame snacks from 8th and Fancy. High five.
I'm telling you.
Religion is what got Trump elected. The evangelical vote, both black and white, was behind them. Listen, in the South, religion will never die. LOL, look at Kelly's face.
Religion might not never die, but there's more spiritual being. That's like I was religious coming up. I was super religious, and then I changed to spiritual. Are you religious?
No.
Are you religious?
I've never been religious.
Okay. So I'm saying there's 3 people in the room. I was formerly religious. I was in the church. You know my upbringing. We were in the church.
I wasn't there.
Like
4 days out the
Just
week.
because I was
So if
in there doesn't mean you're going to force me to believe something.
Right.
I changed, and I'm raising my children not in the church. Trust me, it's going to change.
I mean, but they still need a foundation. But like
How many
I'm saying,
kids you got? Are you bringing your kids up in the church? You got 3 kids. I have 3 nephews. You're not bringing them up in the church, so that's 3 people they lost. My 4 kids.
you talking about they lost?
Kids.
Listen, stop, slow down, fall back, D, fall back. What they utilize church for, then I'm not utilizing that for my kids. My kids do go to church when they go home with their when they go back to South Carolina with their grandma. They go to church. So I'm not saying that church could be a good tool.
Oh, yes,
but I'm not.
But
that's not.
messages.
That is not my thing, though. Like religion is not my thing
at all.
And the biggest reason, and the simplest part, whose God is the right God?
Exactly.
Like, and I stop at that. I just stop right
so
there, and that's where I stop at.
So I'm saying more people are spiritual now than or there's a lot more people who are spiritual than claiming to be religious.
They call me an atheist now,
and that's
before anything.
But I'm just saying that's another cultural thing that's happening.
But a little witch girl.
That's another cultural shift in America, right or wrong. That's where I'm getting at. Religion it's still big, but to a lot of people.
Religion is huge.
Very, still.
I don't understand how dude, this whole country is based upon religion. This is a Christian nation.
Christianity, yes.
That's what, you can go anywhere and see a cross everywhere. There's churches on damn near every 2-3 mile radius. No, that's a stretch. But there's a damn near a mile bruh. You can go anywhere, and then right next to the church, what you gonna see? A couple miles up, a liquor store maybe?
Mm-hmm.
More people would be saying that they relate to being spiritual than religious, as when I was growing up. Now, if it was 20 years ago, it would be more people would be religious than spiritual, but more people are finding spirituality.
A lot of people had it already. It's just now opened up what's okay to come out about.
So that's what my argument is as well, is a lot more people are looking at it. We're not looking at it from the religious side of politics anymore. I'm not.
You aren't. But listen to what you're saying.
You?
Listen to what you're saying.
Are you?
What the fuck difference does it matter? Listen, stop, because you tripping and you bugging. That's why I'm like,
not.
I don't like staying on politics with you, because you forget the main thing. The shit you talk about doesn't matter because you're not any of the people, these lawmakers. You're not going, the people that you're conversing with, these kids getting whatever, they're not going to be these niggas coming up about to be in the office. Okay, Branson.
You don't know who anybody's going to be.
Right.
I know that they're not. I know that the kids.
So they're already being groomed.
Okay.
They're already being groomed because this shit starts early, so they're already being groomed.
Okay. Like I said,
I'm not trying to be like, shut some shit down. No. Are they already being groomed? Because I know you're not talking about 14, 15, 16-year-olds. You got to be talking about like 19, 20, 20-year-olds.
We're
21, 22.
We're talking about coming from a society where our grandparents didn't go to school with other kids of nationalities, other races, not at all.
They weren't allowed to.
Okay, and now our kids go to school with everybody. Everybody.
And?
Okay.
We went to school with everybody.
Because our parents were in the military.
What the fuck?
Trust me, military living is a lot different than regular out in this, what you call living.
I don't understand. Oh, hold on. I just want to read. Let me just read a little bit. Let me just read, because I'm tripping. All the states can be blue. Power structure will still be the same. Right. I'm not forcing nothing on my kids but the truth of what life is and what's going on. Exactly. Okay, but the kids you deal with won't... That's what I was just saying. Okay, but the kids you deal with won't run this country for decades. It's going to take time. Them niggas he dealing with ain't going to be running this shit. Period. Most younger generations are more liberal, but once they get older, they turn conservative and protect and maintain the power structure. You got to understand it was the big cities in Georgia went blue, not the rural areas. Exactly. And if them felons ain't allowed to vote when they get out, that shit gonna go right back. That part.
So they don't have bigger cities in Texas than they do in Georgia. I'm just asking. Houston's not bigger than Atlanta. Dallas isn't big. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know how big? How big Texas is.
I know how big it is, but I also know how big those cities are in Texas.
But if they're not voting. If they're not voting?
Is that what we're hoping?
No. What sense does that make?
Okay then. Because that's what I'm saying. If we saw that our vote mattered, that votes matter. In Texas, they were kind of on the fence about that at one point anyway during this election, if I'm correct. They were kind of, I can't believe Texas might be, they were talking like that.
They said that shit the last election when Hillary was running. Come on, man. I'm going back to comments. Okay. I'll take, here go Bleak again. I'll take that bet on Texas, bro. And just because the demographics have changed doesn't mean that the systematically things will change. It doesn't mean that systematically things will change.
I'm not drinking it up.
I think you proved Branson Hill point. He is not getting that part. The power structure is all that really matters. Ain't that fancy? Like and follow. I like this. What does religion have to do with power? Those in power do not care about religion. It is a tool. As people change, the politicians' tools will change. Sir, I went to school with everybody, and I'm 47. The Constitution is constructed to protect white privilege.
Your grandparents didn't go to school with everybody. And they were what, 80? It's only about, how long ago was segregation? How long, 60, 70 years we're talking about right now? So in 60, 70 years, and then them letting black and white people get married, in 60, 70 years, they've basically caught up, like, population-wise, because it's a lot of interracial kids out here. It is.
Broke, poor, struggling, no wealth. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of us out here. We out here, bro. That's America. That's America. We out here.
But everyone,
they drug us out here. They put some shit in order. We ain't made enough money since to do shit. And here we are. And you're saying we're getting
some people become successful of color. I know y'all like this blows some of y'all mind, but there's some people of color who become very successful.
We're not saying that. Nobody's not saying that. Nobody's not saying that.
You're making it seem like, I'm telling you, look, this is what's happening in America. There is a cultural shift. Demographics, there's more people of color because people of color are tapping into that white bloodline. Black, Hispanic, especially blacks and Hispanics. We're all tapping into that bloodline. So those are basically our seeds that we planted in that field.
I still don't think Texas is gonna ever go blue.
And that's cool. But it will.
Well, I feel like I'm listening to them Umar Branson Johnson or some shit. Like, I don't understand what's going on right
if
now.
I
I
would have
don't
told
get
you
it.
last year Georgia was turning blue, you would have looked at me and said the same thing. I don't think Georgia's ever going to go blue, but it did. And Texas will too. I'm just letting you know.
Stacey Abrams, nigga. Until they change the laws that govern this country, things will never change. It doesn't matter who they put in power until the laws that say, as black people, we are less than a full person change, nothing will change.